So in the throne speech, the province said it was going to keep working actively towards Edmonton and Calgary having city charters. What does that mean for Calgarians if that happens?
Well, the city charters, which I hope will be enacted sometime this summer, have some things that are very esoteric, but also end up having real impact on people. Things around better ways of doing assessment and managing appeals and tribunals within the city. Hopefully most people don't have to deal with appeals and tribunals, but we'll make that process, for example, work much better. The real benefit to the city charter is in enabling decision making at the local level, so that we'll have a lot less buck passing between the province and the city in terms of who's responsible for what. Right now we have a situation where oftentimes the city will have the expertise or the ability to do something, but the province has the decision-making authority. And as a result, nothing gets done. So those are things that we'll continue to work on with the province. Most of those things have already come out publicly. We've had lots of feedback on them from the public. The remaining piece has to do with what we're calling the fiscal framework. And the fiscal framework is predicated on two principles, basically. The first principle is do no harm. Don't make it worse for anybody. And the second principle is make sure that cities have stable, predictable, long-term sources of funding so that we are not forever going cap in hand to the province saying we need money for this or we need money for that. And those conversations, given the province's difficult fiscal situation, have actually been going very well. And so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to unveil a new model, first in Canada, for better ways of creating a better financial relationship between the two orders of government.
When you say on the fiscal level, though, principle one, do no harm, a lot of people might hear that and go, that means raise no taxes or impose no new taxes. Is that what it means?
It means don't make the situation worse. And so certainly in this environment, there's no appetite for raising taxes or for substantial new taxes. There may be an ability to do some shuffling around to make things work a bit more efficiently. For example, on visitor taxes, which is a big dog's breakfast of hotel taxes and car rental, things like that. But I don't think there's any appetite for a major tax reform on the operating side now. That has to happen. As we've seen, property tax is a particularly unfair way of taxing, especially seniors and small businesses. I don't think there's big appetite to do it now, especially given the province's fiscal situation, but I think we can get things right on the capital side and make that work a lot better. Anyone else?
You again touched upon the opioid crisis. I'm just trying to get a sense from you of time.
Soonish.
When you talk about the severity of the crisis.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute crisis. We have to move as quickly as possible, and the time for endless study and discussion and stakeholder roundtables is long past. What I'm looking for is the very best thinking on solutions and the ability to progress those solutions very, very quickly. So from the city's perspective, we can move fast on approvals and permitting and things like that once we have the right solutions in place. There's a lot of very big brains working on this now, and I'm very anxious to see things that we can try.
Can you talk about your level of confidence, though, especially when you're talking about the other orders of government, in terms of a coordinated strategy? Is there a point at which the city says, we just can't wait, we're going to do X, or we're going to do Y?
Well, most of the things we're talking about we actually cannot do without federal government approval and or provincial government funding. The good news is that all three orders of government are working together on this. I've had the chance to meet with the Minister of Health. I know that the mayor's had a call with the Minister of Health and this federally, the Federal Minister of Health and the Federal Minister of Public Safety recently. And I'm meeting actually as soon as today with provincial officials to make sure that all of this is coordinated. And the city is able to move quickly. So I've said, excuse me. So I've said many times, give us the authority and let us do it, and we'll be able to move fast. So it's just a matter of getting the right solutions that we want to experiment quickly.
Is safe injection sites one of the things you're talking about?
I think that harm reduction strategies and safe consumption will likely be part of any solution. I have to tell you that personally, I really, really don't like safe injection sites. I find that they almost feel like an admission that we're not able to solve the problem. that said, my personal feelings aside, the evidence is absolutely clear. Absolutely clear. They save people's lives. And our job today has to be to save people's lives. And we have to be able to do so in terms of saving people's lives and helping them get better. So I'm not interested in a copy and paste of Vancouver here. I'm interested in 2.0 and thinking about harm reduction in terms of both saving people's lives and helping them get better.
What does soonish look like to you?
Well, I'd like to start tomorrow, but you know, we have to be clear on the levels of improvement. As I've said before, I want to measure action on the ground in weeks, not months or years.